Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nathan and on this video I'll be predicting the NFL playoffs and Super Bowl. Before we get into today's video, please smash that subscribe button and also turn on that notification bell if you're new to my channel. Odds are if you're watching this video, you really love sports, and also drop a like on this video. Let's go ahead and review the playoff bracket. So these are the teams that I have making the playoffs this season, and here are the seedings for the postseason. And here's to a great season, everybody. Now let's get into it. The Las Vegas Raiders versus the Los Angeles Chargers. The Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Chargers are division rivals, and they have only met each other once in the postseason in their history. The only time these two teams have faced each other was back in the 1980 AFC Championship game. The Oakland Raiders won that game by a score of 34-27. The Las Vegas Raiders made the playoffs last year for the first time since the 2016 campaign. Currently, they haven't made back-to-back playoff appearances since they made 3 in a row from 2000 and 2002 seasons. In the playoffs last season, they made it to the AFC wildcard game and they played against the Cincinnati Bengals. Unfortunately for them, they lost that game 26-19. The Los Angeles Chargers haven't made the playoffs since the 2018 campaign when they went 12-4. Last season, they had a record of 9 wins and 8 losses, and that was their first winning campaign since 2018. Their last playoff win came in the 2013 season when they played against the Cincinnati Bengals in the AFC wildcard game. This would be Justin Herbert's first playoff game as a NFL quarterback. So my prediction for this AFC wildcard matchup between these two teams, I have the Los Angeles Chargers winning this game and moving on to the next round. The Baltimore Ravens versus the Cincinnati Bengals. The Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals are division rivals, and they have never faced each other in the playoffs. These two teams have met each other 52 times in the regular season. This will be the first ever playoff game between these two teams in their history. The first ever regular season meeting between these two teams was back on November 3rd of 1996. The Baltimore Ravens haven't made the playoffs since the 2020 season. Last season, they had a record of 8 wins and 9 losses, and that was their first losing season since the 2015 campaign. Before missing the playoffs last season, they made 3 straight postseason appearances in a row, and their deepest playoff run was to the AFC divisional round twice. The Cincinnati Bengals made the Super Bowl last season for the first time since the 1988 campaign. That was also their first playoff appearance since the 2015 campaign. In the Super Bowl, they played against the Los Angeles Rams. Unfortunately, they lost that game 23-20. So my prediction for this AFC wildcard matchup between these two teams, I have the Cincinnati Bengals winning this game and moving on to the next round. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Indianapolis Colts. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Indianapolis Colts have met each other 27 times, including 5 postseason games. The last time these two teams met in the postseason was in the AFC divisional round on January 12th of 2019. The Kansas City Chiefs won that game by a score of 31-13. The Kansas City Chiefs have currently made the playoffs 7 times in a row, and that's the most appearances in a row in franchise history. With them making the postseason this season, they will have 8 playoff appearances in a row. In the playoffs last season, they made it to the AFC Championship game and they played against the Cincinnati Bengals. Unfortunately, they lost that game 27-24. The Indianapolis Colts missed the playoffs last year with a record of 9 wins and 8 losses. They have currently only made the playoffs in every even year since the 2018 campaign. And their last consecutive playoff appearances in a row was when they had 3 back in the 2012-2014 seasons. Their deepest playoff run was back in the 2014 season when they went to the AFC Championship game, when Andrew Luck was their quarterback. So my prediction for this AFC wildcard matchup between these two teams, I have the Kansas City Chiefs winning this game and moving on to the next round. The Minnesota Vikings versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Minnesota Vikings and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have never faced each other in the playoffs. These two teams have met each other 56 times in the regular season. This will be the first ever playoff game between these two teams in their history. The first ever regular season meeting between these two teams was back on September 24th of 1977, and the last matchup between both of them was on December 13th of 2020. With the Minnesota Vikings making the playoffs this season, I predict that would be their first playoff appearance since the 2019 campaign. Last season, they had a record of 8 wins and 9 losses, and that was their second consecutive losing season in a row. With Kirk Cousins as their quarterback, they have only made the postseason once in 2019, and he has a record of 1 win and 1 loss. This will be his 5th season in a row with the Vikings. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have made the playoffs for 2 straight seasons in a row, and that's the longest since they made 4 in a row from 1999 to 2002 seasons. In the playoffs last season, they made it to the NFC Divisional Round and they played against the Los Angeles Rams. Unfortunately for them, they lost that game 30-27. Since Tom Brady became the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 2020 season, they now have a winning record in the playoffs with 11 wins and 10 losses. So my prediction for this NFC wildcard matchup between these two teams, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning this game and moving on to the next round. The Dallas Cowboys versus the Green Bay Packers. The Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers have met each other 37 times, including 8 postseason games. The last time these two teams met in the postseason was in the NFC Divisional Round on January 15th of 2017. The Green Bay Packers won that game by a score of 34-31. The Dallas Cowboys made the playoffs last year for the first time since the 2018 campaign. With my prediction of the Cowboys making the playoffs this season, that would be their first back-to-back playoff appearances in a row since the 2006-2007 seasons. In the playoffs last season, they made it to the NFC wildcard game and they played against the San Francisco 49ers. Unfortunately for them, they lost that game 23-17. With my prediction of the Green Bay Packers making the playoffs again this season, that would be their 4th consecutive playoff appearance in a row. Their longest consecutive playoff appearances in a row in franchise history is 8 in a row from 2009 to 2016 seasons. In the playoffs last season, they made it to the NFC Divisional Round and they played against the San Francisco 49ers. Unfortunately, they lost that game 13-10. In Aaron Rodgers' career against the Dallas Cowboys, he has faced them 10 times and winning 8 of those games against them. So my prediction for this NFC wildcard matchup between these two teams, I have the Green Bay Packers win this game and moving on to the next round. The San Francisco 49ers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles have met each other 35 times, including once in the postseason in their history. The only time these two teams have faced each other in the playoffs was back in the 1996 NFC wildcard game. The San Francisco 49ers won that game by a score of 14-0. With my prediction of the San Francisco 49ers making the playoffs again this season, that would be their first back-to-back playoff appearances in a row since the 2011-2013 seasons. In their last 2 playoff appearances, they have made it in odd years in 2019 and in 2021. In the playoffs last season, they made it to the NFC Championship game and they played against the Los Angeles Rams. Unfortunately, they lost that game 20-17. The Philadelphia Eagles surprised us last season by making the playoffs after missing it the year before. With my prediction of them making the playoffs again this season, they would have made the playoffs in 5 out of the last 6 seasons. But currently, they have made the postseason 4 times out of the last 5 years. In the playoffs last season, they made it to the NFC wildcard game and they played against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Unfortunately for them, they lost that game 31-15. So my prediction for this NFC wildcard matchup between these two teams, I have the San Francisco 49ers winning this game and moving on to the next round. Now let's go to the divisional round. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills have met each other 52 times, including 5 postseason games. This would be the 6th time that these two teams have met each other in the playoffs. The last playoff matchup between these two teams was in the AFC Divisional Round on January 23rd of 2022. The Kansas City Chiefs won that game in overtime 42-36. In those 5 playoff games between these two teams, the Chiefs have won 3 games and the Bills have won 2 games. The Kansas City Chiefs' last Super Bowl appearance came in the 2020 season. With my prediction of the Buffalo Bills making the playoffs this season, that would be their 4th consecutive season in a row. They have currently made the playoffs in 4 of the last 5 seasons, and their longest playoff streak in a row is 6 consecutive seasons from 1988 to 1993 campaigns. The Bills will be looking to avenge their playoff loss from last season in this game. So my prediction for this AFC divisional round game matchup between these two teams, I have the Buffalo Bills winning this game and they will move on to the AFC Conference Championship game. The Cincinnati Bengals versus the Los Angeles Chargers. The Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Chargers have met each other 38 times, including 2 postseason games. The last playoff matchup between these two teams was in the AFC wildcard game on January 5th of 2014. The Cincinnati Bengals won that game by a score of 27-10. In those 2 playoff games between those two teams, the Bengals and the Chargers have won both 1 game each. The Cincinnati Bengals have made 3 Super Bowl appearances in their franchise history, and their most recent one was in the 2021 season. The Los Angeles Chargers have made 1 Super Bowl appearance in their franchise history, and that was back in the 1994 season. So my prediction for this AFC divisional round game matchup between these two teams, I have the Cincinnati Bengals winning this game on the road and they will move on to the AFC Conference Championship game. The San Francisco 49ers versus the Los Angeles Rams. The San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams have met each other 146 times, including 2 postseason games. The last playoff matchup between these two teams was in the NFC Championship game on January 30th of 2022. The Los Angeles Rams won that game by a score of 20-17. In those 2 playoff games between these two teams, both teams have won 1 game each. The 49ers have made 7 Super Bowls in their franchise history and winning 5 of those appearances. Their last Super Bowl appearance came in the 2019 season. With my prediction of the Los Angeles Rams making the playoffs this season, they will be looking to repeat as Super Bowl champions this season. In their franchise history, they have made 5 Super Bowl appearances and winning 2 of those appearances. In the Super Bowl last season, they played against the Cincinnati Bengals. They won the Super Bowl by a score of 23-20. With these two teams being division rivals, this game will be intense for both teams. So my prediction for this NFC divisional round game matchup between these two teams, I have the Los Angeles Rams winning this game and they will advance to the NFC Conference Championship game. The Green Bay Packers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Green Bay Packers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have met each other 57 times, including 2 postseason games. The last playoff matchup between these two teams was in the NFC Championship game on January 24th of 2021. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers won that game by a score of 31-26. In those 2 playoff games between these two teams, both teams have won 1 game each. The Green Bay Packers' last Super Bowl appearance came in the 2010 season, and overall they have won 4 Super Bowls and 5 appearances in their franchise history. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have made 2 Super Bowls in their franchise history, and they have won both of those appearances. I suspect that this game will be a hard-fought battle between these two teams. So my prediction for this NFC divisional round game matchup between these two teams, I have the Green Bay Packers upsetting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road and they will move on to the NFC Conference Championship game. The Cincinnati Bengals versus the Buffalo Bills. The Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills have faced each other 32 times, including 2 postseason games. The last playoff matchup between these two teams was in the 1988 AFC Championship game. The Bengals won that game by a score of 21-10. In those 2 playoff games between these two teams, the Cincinnati Bengals have won both of those games. The Cincinnati Bengals will be looking to go back to the Super Bowl for the 2nd straight season in a row and avenge their Super Bowl loss from last season. The Buffalo Bills haven't made a Super Bowl appearance since the 1993 season. In their franchise history, they have made 4 Super Bowl appearances and they have won none of those appearances. I absolutely think that this game will be a hard-fought battle between both teams. So my prediction for the AFC Conference Championship game matchup between these two teams, I have the Buffalo Bills winning this game and they will advance to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1993. The Green Bay Packers versus the Los Angeles Rams. The Green Bay Packers and the Los Angeles Rams have met each other 3 times in the playoffs. The last playoff matchup between these two teams was the NFC Divisional Round on January 16th of 2021. The Green Bay Packers won that game by a score of 32-18. In those three playoff games between these two teams, the Packers have won 2 games and the Rams have won 1 game. The Green Bay Packers will be looking to go back to the Super Bowl for the first time since the 2010 campaign. The Los Angeles Rams will be looking to be the first team to win back-to-back Super Bowls since the New England Patriots won 2 in a row from 2003 to 2004. I believe that this game will be a great one. So my prediction for the NFC Conference Championship game matchup between these two teams, I have the Green Bay Packers winning this game and they will advance to the Super Bowl for the first time since 2010. In Super Bowl 57, I have the Buffalo Bills versus the Green Bay Packers. The Buffalo Bills and the Green Bay Packers have never faced each other in the Super Bowl before. In the regular season, these two teams have met each other 13 times currently, and they will meet again this season on October 30th. In those 13 current games that these two teams have played against each other, the Buffalo Bills have won 8 games and the Green Bay Packers have won 5 games. Josh Allen has faced the Green Bay Packers once in his career, and that was on September 30th of 2018. They lost that game 22-0. This will be Buffalo's first Super Bowl appearance since the 1993 campaign. In Aaron Rodgers' career, he has faced the Buffalo Bills 3 times and winning 2 of those games. The one loss for Aaron Rodgers against the Buffalo Bills was on December 14th of 2014. Green Bay lost that game 21-13. This will be Green Bay's first Super Bowl since the 2010 season. I absolutely think that this Super Bowl will be a great game on offense and defense and will come down to the wire. This will be a really hard-fought Super Bowl between these two teams. So my prediction is that the Green Bay Packers will win Super Bowl 57 and that will be their first Super Bowl title since 2010. So those are my NFL playoff predictions for this season. Who do you think will win the Super Bowl this season? Let me know in the comments down below. Before you leave, please smash that subscribe button and also turn on that notification bell if you're new to my channel. If you love sports, this is definitely the channel for you. And please also share this video with more sports fans. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and my name is Nathan. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Just keep loving sports.